Good morning, students. Today we are going to study chapter number 2, capital, fixed and working of commerce. Okay. As we are knowing, what do you mean by capital? What is the meaning of capital? Capital is that amount which we have invested in the business concern for something return, that is amount of capital. Getting it, Ola? So in this chapter, we will study capital and what are the types of capital. Okay, so in this chapter, as we are knowing, the finance is the lifeblood of the business. Finance is the lifeblood of the business. As we are knowing, in human body, there is all thing is blood. Okay, as blood running up and down in the body works is very smoothly. Okay, whole body works smoothly if the in the human body blood runs ups and downs under human body. Getting evolver? So like this, finance is the lifeblood of the business. If there is no finance, if there is lack of capital, then business can't run smoothly. Okay, my dear students, so we are going to understand the importance of business finance. Okay, first of all we will see what nature of business finance. Getting you all this topic, nature of business finance. What we can see, business, first point, business finance includes all type of capital or fund used in the business. All type of capital or fund used in the business. Getting you all? So means every type of capital and funds we can use in the business concern. Okay, second topic, business finance is needed all type of business, large, small, or sole trading and so on. Means there are three type of business, and every type of business there is a requirement of business finance. Okay, third one is business finance. Finance is a wider term, and it involves not only the estimation of the amount of fund, but also the source of funds, investment of fund, management of cash, disposal of earning, and control of funds. Okay, my dear residents, so we can say business finance is a very wider term. Business finance is a very wider term, and we can say business finance is not only the collection of money, collection of capital in the business is not only. It is the source of, it is the meaning of source of finance, investment of fund raised. Okay, investments of funds raised. Second, third, management cash disposal, where we will utilize the cash or finance in which terms. So whatever we will study in this chapter. Okay, my dear students, so we can see in this lecture. Okay, so fourth point is the amount of business finance required differ from the business from to another depending upon its nature and size. Getting involved means the requirement of fund, it's depend on the size of the business. What are the size of the business? If the business is large size, business is having large size, then it required more amount of capital. If the business is low size, then small size in the less amount of capital. Next, the availability of finance determine the scale of operation of business. Definitely means availability of finance. Who decide? It determine the scale of operation of business. Scale of operation means at what scales we operate the concern, what the amount of working capital is required for the operations. So all these things that is determined to the business finance. Getting evolver. Next topic, importance of finance for the business. As we are knowing, business is the lifeblood of the concern, lifeblood of the finance is the lifeblood of the business. If the finance is not there, then is fund, then the business will not work smoothly. Okay, so in this importance, what we can see, how the business finance is important. So see here, in business finance there is required for establishing an enterprise. for establishing an enterprise, for purchase of fixed assets and current assets, for purchase and fixed assets and current assets, and C for expansion, growth and modernization of business. Okay. So in easier terms, we can understand what are the importance of business finance. In first term, if we talk about, then first in the what, for establishing in the business there is a requirement of large amount of funds and large amount of business finance. The first importance of finance is in establishing of the business concern. Second is purchase of fixed asset. Purchase of fixed assets. We purchase the fixed assets for operating the concern, for this large scale business, for the large amount of profit. What? We purchase the fixed asset. Third, for expansion and growth on the business. For expansion and growth of the business. If we want to the expansion of the concern, then there is a need of business finance. Okay, so this is the three main important topic. What? There is the requirement of business finance for establishing the concern, for establishing the business. Second, purchase of fixed assets. Purchase of fixed assets means which fixed assets you are knowing very well. And third one is for expansion and growth of the concern. Okay, so three most important topic for the importance of business finance. These all are points which are related from all these 3 points. Okay, you can see in detail in your book. Okay, next, source of finance from different type of business firms. So my dear students, we can see here there are 3 type of business firms. There are 3 type of business firms: sole proprietorship, partnership and joint stock company. Okay, and under the sole proprietorship, we know that is the show of one man army, means there is a less amount of capital is required compared to partnership, compared to company. If we talk about second, partnership you are studying in accounts. Okay, you are getting the meaning of partnership means there is a more than 2 partners are doing business. Means if we talk about compared to company, there is a less amount of capital is required for the partnership business. Third, company in the case of company we talk about, there is a huge amount of capital is required. Huge amount of capital is required in the case of company business. Getting you all? So what we can see, there is a requirement of fund according to the capacity of the business. As sole proprietors of business operates at a small scale, therefore required a limited amount of capital. Partnership, capital requirement, as the capital base of the partnership is bigger than the definitely it will bigger than sole trade business, but not bigger than company. Okay, the own capital is contributed by the partners in agreed ratio, means whatever the partners will be agreed, they will contribute the amount of capital. And third, in the case of joint stock company, there is a huge amount of capital is required for the large scale business getting, and there is a too much capital required for the when the public contribute the amount of capital. So this is the thing, sources of finance at the different type of business firms. Getting you all? Next topic is, you can see here, financial planning. Financial planning is the most important topic for your examination concern. And financial planning means financial planning is the process of estimating the financial requirement of an organization, choosing the source of funds and deciding how the funds are to be utilized. Getting you all? What? Financial planning is the process of, what type of process? Is the estimation. What? Estimations. Okay, estimations. Okay. So, estimations of the financial requirement. Estimations of financial requirement. Financial requirement. Okay, financial requirement of an organization. Of an organization. Okay, my dear students. And choosing the source of fund and deciding how the funds are to be utilized. Choosing the source of fund and decide how the fund will be utilized, and select the medium. Which medium? By which medium we will use the money. Okay, my dear students, we will use the source of fund. So this is the meaning of source of financial planning. What are the features of financial planning? Features, see, you can see here, financial planning involves deciding when, how and why of the financial activities. Definitely, financial planning decides what, when, how and why of financial activities, how it will done. Okay, when it will done and why it will do done. Okay, so financial planning involves deciding, because everywhere is the requirement of finance is over there, so there is a need of financial planning decides. It is unnecessary things which are happening in the concern and our necessary things. Okay, second, like any other planning in future oriented and involve forecasting. Definitely, like any other planning, it is future oriented and involve forecasting. For business concern, there is forecasting is too much important. Forecast. So if there is any planning is happening in the concern and it is in the it is not for the profit, then why the company will do? So if anything is happening in the concern, that means it is for profit of the concern, it is for the beneficial of the concern. Third, it involves deciding objective policies, procedure, methods of program and concerning funds. Getting over third point, you can see finance everywhere. For every activity the finance is required. It involves deciding objective policies, procedure, methods and programs concerning funds. Okay, the scope of financial planning is wide. Definitely the scope everywhere is the requirement of finance is in the business concern. Next, estimating the amount of fixed capital and working capital needed in the business. Definitely, financial planning estimate the need of fixed capital and working capital. Okay, next, selecting the appropriate source of fund and their ratio in the total amount. Selective the appropriate source of fund and their ratio in the business. Okay, formulating policies for use of fund and disposal of earning, where we will use from how we will formulate the plan and policies and disposal of, where we will do disposal of earning. So this is the features of financial planning. Okay, what are the importance of financial planning? You can see this topic, it's the most important point. Okay, you can see here importance of financial planning. What I have marks, you can see here, and you can marks in your book as the keywords of the points. Okay, my dear students, so first of all we will see what keywords for importance. The role of financial planning is evident from the following points. A sound financial plan helps in business enterprise to avoid the problem of shortage. What problem of shortage and surplus of fund? This is because intelligent estimates of current and future capital requirement are made in financial planning. In the absence of an accurate financial plan, the business may face a shortage of funds and its growth might be restricted. Getting over, if there is a sufficient amount of capital fund is available in the concern, there is no any problem of capital or fund for the any type of work which will be done in the business concern. Okay, second, financial planning is serve as a guide in developing a sound capital structure so as to maximize return to shareholder. Definitely, if there is a sufficient amount of capital, it will guide to whole business, it will guide and lead to the whole business, and if there is sufficient amount fund, then it will go for the taking risk. What it is helpful in maintaining a proper balance between equity and debt fund. Definitely, means if there is a sound financial system, what then equity and debt, the balance between equity and debt will be maintained in the concern. Third point, financial planning in effective utilization fund. Financial planning importance क्या है? Effective utilization of fund. You can see here, if there is no financial planning, we will misuse all the finance in wala sectors. Okay, and there is no any fruitful result, then that definitely with the business will start to get loss. But there is a financial planning where effective utilization of fund and the business will get the more and optimum utilization of resources and profit. Okay, and it denies wastage of capital is eliminated. Means if there is no financial planning, the wastage of amount of capital, whatever I have told you. D, next point, financial planning provides policies and procedure for coordinating different functional areas of the business. In a business, there are different part, different organization, different of departments, and business finance helps to coordinate between all the department of the concern. Next E point, a financial plan enables the management to exercise effective control. If there is a plan, then management try to do effective control over the financial activities of an enterprises. Actual utilization of fund can be kept in accordance with the planned utilizations. Means in there is a sufficient amount of source of fund, then the management will start to control each and every activity very effectively. Okay, and if there is a shortage of fund, the management will not do the proper arrangement for the controlling all our business activities for the concern. Next, it helps the company to prepare facing business shocks and surprise in future. Definitely, if any type of challenges or shocks, business risks, if will come, the business will meet up to very smoothly and very firmly. Okay, if there is a source of there is the lack of source of fund, then business will start to struggle in all over cases. Okay, so for all these, importance of business finance is required. The importance of financial planning is required. Okay, means if we are preparing what financial planning, then what point should be kept in our mind? The first thing, you can see objective. Definitely, if we are preparing our financial plan, then we should always in our mind what the objective of the concern. All financial plan should be designed to achieve the financial objective of an enterprise. Definitely, all business plan is prepared for the what of achieving the objective of the business plans. If there is, then we will not think about the objective, not think about the goal of the business concern, then how it will be success. Second thing, nature of industry. What type of business is we are doing? Okay, the characteristic of particular industry in which the enterprise is operating will determine the financial needs of business and the investments of fund. Okay, so if there is a petrochemical, iron and steels, there is a too much amount of capital is required. Okay, so the nature of industry is depend on how the planning will be effective. Third, size of the firms. Definitely, size of the firm, if there is a small unit, large, medium unit and large unit, we are getting in the class 11th, for a small amount of capital for a small unit, medium amount of capital for medium unit, and for the large amount of capital for the large unit. So size of the firm will also decide what amount of capital is required. Next, capital market conditions. market conditions. In this time we are saying there are various too much uncertainties in the market, means the investors and the businessmen are very afraid from the corona COVID-19. Okay, so what we are saying, we are saying there is too much uncertainties. So capital market should be confident, capital market should be in a positive way. There is a various there is a very less quantity of uncertainty should be over there. Okay, first, next next is government regulations. You can see the here government regulation. Financial planning and regulation of the government affect the both availability and the cost of fund. For example, reduction in interest rates reduce the cost of raising debts in India. Definitely, government regulation should be in our mind when we are preparing what, the financial planning. Okay, my dear students. Next, degree of risk. Degree of risk, yes, what type of business we are doing, and what amount of risk we can take in the business concern should be in our mind when we are preparing our financial plan. What is the degree of risk? Getting? So all these points we should very clear in chapter number 2. Next point is factor affecting capital structures. We will study in the next lecture. For today, thank you very much, and you will start to prepare your notes. Okay, and hope if you have any problem, then you can ask me in our comments. Okay, for today, thank you very much.